Hi, it's Juris and welcome to the 2 Shop Talk, and today we will look at our favorite product from Inkclaw, battery grips. My favorite product because it's crazy, your favorite product because it's easy to talk crap about it. But let's look into it, and today we have a version with bar needles and it's 1.5 UB version, and for cartridge needles which is version Phoenix 2.0 UB. And UB stands for moved up button. And I will do the usual, it's ups, it's downs, and who this product might be for. A quick disclaimer for those who are already on this channel, they know these products were sent to me, but company have no input on a video, they have not seen it beforehand, I don't have to say anything good or anything bad. No money have exchanged hands in terms of video, but we do run affiliate program with the company, so look into it. You get a little discount, we get a little kickback. Does it affect what I think about products because we run affiliate program? I believe that I'm here to show products, not to sell products, but keep that in mind anyway. Let's start with prices. The one which is for bar needles starts at 169 US, which is around 155 euros, and cartridge version is a little bit more expensive. And then you can add different connection cables. There's RCA, there's clip cord, and there's a DC, and I think another one. So the more you add, the more it adds to the price, but it changes by a little bit. I have reviewed this brand product before, but this is different version. And the main difference is that they have moved button higher up. This is the new version, and this is the old version. And this prevents accidental presses. In my opinion, this product at the moment is as good as it's going to get, and in the future it can improve only like if some general like technology is improved, like battery lives or some new materials or something like that. At this moment I think this is the one. I've seen alternative versions circling on Amazon, but I have not tried those, and I worked with these, and my opinion is based on my experience with these battery grips. And since I think it's as good as it's going to get, let's start with cons this time and let's keep good stuff to the end. The obvious one is hygiene. So many will say like you can't put it in autoclave, you can't like wrap it correctly, it can be clean, it's all the cross-contamination and all that stuff. And yeah, I see that point. But if we look at some standards now, for example, in Denmark, we had a hygiene course which was run by like real doctors who work with skin stuff. The main guy is involved in like researches with tattoo inks. He is on a tattooist side when it comes to regulations of the REACH and all that. He was the one who was saying that there's no proof that tattoos cause cancer. So that guy knows what's up. And on the hygiene course, the main vibe was where people started to be like, oh, but you should do this and you should do that and you can't clean this. His main point was like that this is not a sterile procedure and sort of boys stop playing doctors. And in Denmark, if you wrap and clean things correct, this setup is fine. And if it's not up for your hygiene standards, then this is simply not product for you. And on that note, you can leave your thoughts in the comment section. If done correct, if wrapped correct, if cleaned correct, it's set up correct, this product is fine. And on social media, I have seen well-known experienced artists using these grips, and I'm pretty sure that they know what they're doing and how to keep things clean. There is market for this product. It's a specific market, but it's there. So we got the biggest one out of the way. That would be hygiene. Next one would be battery life. Unfortunately, it can't work for too long. I tested, I ran it on Dan Cuban's machine. I just set it up and ran it on 6 volts with a needle in, but without any resistance. And on the start setting at 6 volts, it ran tiny bit more than an hour. So I would say you could expect 1 hour, 1.5 hour maximum, because you would stop at some point where you're working, so you would stop and run machine, so that can add a bit more to that hour, but I don't think it would be a lot more. Battery life is not great, but it's as much as you can pack in this thing, and I think that's something that can improve like in the future when battery technology improves or like machines get more like energy efficient or something. As for setup, the easy way to set up with disposable tip is pretty easy, and the original way, the way it's intended to be worked with, it comes with both tube options, by the way. Here you tighten this, and that might be something you want to adjust when you set up machine, so you don't get this part in a way, which is a minor con, I would say. Boom. And I have seen on manufacturer of this tattoo machine that he was testing this battery grip, and he said it's maybe not perfect, it's maybe not all there, but that's also pretty much as far as you get with it. Bam! Figure out which way to place it so it's not in a way of moving parts and work away. The way I believe it's best to set up, it's a bit like tricky, so you have to get used to a few things and remember a few things. So that's kind of like a con, because that's not your standard setup. You have to change few things how you go about your day. Let me show you. This is now set up the way I believe it's best to set up. There is a bunch of things to keep in mind. How you position all these parts, how you position this part so it's not in the way of where you tighten the tube, and so all the angles are nice. Now you have to remember that there's this clip cord and boom boom boom. This is quick improvised version. Basically this is the setup that I believe would be the best, obviously all packed and wrapped and all that good stuff. And why I think it's the best, when you break it down, bam, throw your needle out, then this tube would be contaminated. We unscrew it here. When you unscrew this screw, then you can get this whole situation out. With this grip, it's not holding here that well, so like with gloves it's a bit easier. I will use pliers to open it up a bit. The idea is that this goes in here, then disposable tube. This is the metal disposable tube by Otherclaw, by Blackclaw. Another kind of downside, that original manufacturer don't have the option for full-length disposable tubes, but I'm pretty sure that they might be working on it. Plastic or metal, we'll see. This goes in here, this goes in here, and then with this you should tighten it so it doesn't slide around it. And for some reason it's not tightening that well, so you have to do some funky stuff where you sort of tighten it here beforehand as tight as you can, and then put that in and then tighten it up. But that's, in my opinion, the safest way, because then all this part is disposable and you don't have to worry about extra cleaning of some parts, and these smaller parts are easier to clean. My first thought was to use plastic disposable, like long tubes. I got these from CNC, but they have this tiny matte bit. If you look at it, it's sort of like, it's a fraction a bit thicker, and it's not going in that easy, like you have to force it. I forced it a bunch of times, but I don't think it's correct way to go. Another thought on my mind would be to take a drill at the thing just to scrape some inner paint layer off, but I just don't want a Frankenstein. I already did this with the previous review, which you can check out in the corner or in the video description. Yeah, that would be perfect. Unfortunately, these tubes didn't fit. Then I bought these disposable ones, the good old black ones. I managed to get this thing out, but it had a little sort of like a splinters on sides, probably to avoid it from rolling inside the grip. So I had to sort of cut those off. And then it was fitting size-wise, but just because you have to like cut stuff, it's a bit much. It's just for my own fun. And then obviously in this setting, when you break it down, again, you will contaminate the back tube, but you can open it, get it out, scrape it, spray it, put it in autoclave. It's a piece of metal, it will be fine. And suggestion for Inkclaw, if they would make their own long tubes that would fit their grips, that would be awesome. It don't have to be metal, it can be plastic. But this metal is also meant to be disposable. And if you still have the old school ones from metal grip days, then maybe hold on to them if you're planning to purchase this product. It can be very useful and you don't have to look for those. It's hard to find. There was some on eBay that was like not expensive, but shipping was as expensive as the tube, so it's a bit like The short ones, the regular tips, that's no problem to find, and for cartridge version you just fit in cartridges and it works fine. It depends on what machine you're using with. Basically use like injector type of things, and then you don't have this L-shaped battery attached to it, and it moves weight to the front of machine, which feels in hand very comfortable. I worked with it. I still don't have connection with this machine. I'm just, it doesn't work for me. Ergonomics and weight felt a lot nicer than it ever has been with this tattoo machine, so for that reason it would work with anything. And you can convert your coils to wireless cartridge needle machines if those machines can handle cartridges, and if you don't want them to be like bottom heavy. So nice weight and balance to the front. Another thing that came up on my mind, if you want to keep the back stem as clean as possible, you would still want to clean it. But when disassemble, I clipped the back of the needle here with the pliers, and then you open this part and then you slide the very dirty part out this way. Again, a bit over the top, but I did it just for sake of doing it, sort of to prove my concept. Okay, so that was my all over the place overview and cons, and now let's do about the nice, about the positive stuff, all the pros of this tattoo machine. So that's the old version, that's the new version. As I said, cartridge needle version is all good here. But the main difference that they have done it, up button, it means they have moved button up, and it's really nice that it's not getting in a way. And mostly it would get in a way by accident, so when you work you somehow press it and then long press and it turns machine off and you're like, ah, did the battery die? This is way more comfortable. It's also easier to wrap. You block screen a bit more, but it's not that big of an issue. You can still see roughly where you at, and then by the sound you can judge, do you want to add more or less voltage. Then obviously this heavier bit at the front, it's really nice because first of all, you can remove it if you want to clean it. Second of all, it adds nice weight. And on the cartridge needle version, you can put it in different ways. You can see there is a little dot that indicates which way cartridge will be up. Looks kind of a bit off, even though it doesn't matter with this setup. But if you want cartridge to be orientated a different way, just clip it, move it around, and now cartridge is aligned with buttons if that's how you prefer to work with it. And boom. Voltage for us here starts at 3 volts here, and then you can go up to 15, and 15 volts is not that usual for batteries. They usually stop at around 12, and we're still going, boom, 15. And the power of battery, but its resistance or something, is 3.5 amps. Is it actually? I don't know. Some people doubt it. I don't know how to check it. I rely on what they said. And also when you run it, it changes those amps down there. And if the numbers go too funky, you can tell that there's something off one way or another. It's best to check with Inkclaw what means what. We had a conversation about it, but I don't remember. But basically, if it goes too high up, then there might be some issue with cartridge or something is too tight. Main bonus, it's just it works as it's intended, and you can convert your coil machines, your Dan Cubins, your magnetic machines, your Injectus to top heavy wireless tattoo machines. I tried a few times with these two machines and it's just so comfortable. The only thing that keeps me away from using them more often is the setup, because I'm used to one thing and now I have to sort of stop and think and where I put it and where I put what and how. Otherwise it's so comfortable not to have that cable at the back. It's just like, you try it and it's like a drug. And for future, I have seen on their social media that they are also working for converter for the good old like a Cheyenne Thunder type of machines, that there will be converter that you can put this battery grip on that machine. That would again make it wireless and top heavy without attaching of the L-shape back any batteries, which might feel funky and add extra weight or sort of wobble in some situations. That I have only seen on Inkclaw social media, like a short video. I was hoping that Injectus adapter would work for Cheyenne, but it didn't. But they are working on it. So another machine that can be converted to wireless and tip heavy. Top heavy, tip heavy. This part heavy. And now let's slide into who this product might be for, and it's obvious it's for somebody who wants their tattoo wireless, but batteries at the back doesn't work for them. So this is a great way to make them sort of tip heavy and not have any weight messing in the back. What could be those reasons? First of all, it's comfort, and second of all, it could be some health reasons, where for some, like, you know, all the carpal tunnel and like the tennis elbow type of things where you can't work with that setup and you want less weight at the back, so nothing is pulling, you don't have to fight anything else than the tattooing itself. So this is the best option I have tried, and I haven't seen many alternatives out there. Like I said, there are some brands making very similar products. I don't know about those grips, but I can talk about this one. So this, with this part, it adds nice like a tip heavy balance. And with that also I want to touch on the battery life, because you can't make huge projects, so it's hour max, maybe hour and a half. Then if you want to go throughout a day, you need like maybe 2 setups where you can have 2 grips, or maybe 2 identical machine setups, because you can easily charge them. You plug a charger in and it should charge in 40 minutes. So if you can get hour, a bit more than hour out of it. Other can be charging, but that will be a bit more expensive. You would gain comfort and sacrifice a little bit of time in that type of setup. Or for somebody who's not making like big projects, so in an hour I used them with bar needles for lining. I did outlines and it was just fine in an hour, and then I took my pen machine for coloring and that worked fine for me. And again, you can check my Instagram, you can see what sort of works I do. They're nothing too big, so for something like palm size, if you need just lining, you can get away with one grip like this, and especially in some uncomfortable placements where like cable is catching or sliding over customer's face or something. This is really comfortable. And it's pretty easy to pack. Clipcord sleeves fit over it. For this setup I used a bag, tuck all the cables in, add a bit of grip tape if you need to, and maybe I should run injector on 15 volts, then it will work for me. Clipcord sleeves, plastic wraps, my favorite sticky blue plastic works fine, so there is multiple options, and you can also wrap the whole thing or just the back part if you know that you will definitely deal with this later. These are my thoughts on this funky product, and I remember when I first saw it popping up on social media, like the ads, I was like, what is this madness? And then when I got first grip to try from Inkclaw, I was like, this actually kind of makes sense. If you put that strict old school wannabe doctor hygiene aside and you stick to modern standards and you're not playing like a surgeon, then this works, and it is possible to pack it and it is possible to clean it if you do things correct. On that note, thank you Inkclaw for making these crazy products and still improving on them. I think this is already some sort of third version, because there was 1.5, and then they move buttons up and down. Also they make all those crazy needles. So check the links in the video description, and if you're planning to buy something, then you can use our codes that will give you a discount and a little kickback to us, and that way you support channel. So thank you Inkclaw, and thank you you there. Now my lovely subscriber, or one of them 80% who's not subscribed, leave your thoughts in the comment section. If you're super awesome, share this video, don't forget to press like button. Thank you for watching, check earlier reviews here, and as usual, stay safe, and I'm out. Bye!